Hello. So I'm just going to go over some in and out games, just the setup and maybe one or two of the questions. So the first one I've picked is 49 Game 3. A summer program offers at least one of the following 7 courses. So we have a minimum of 1 in, okay, which is max 6 out. We have 7 total. And the courses G, H, L, M, P, S, and Z. Okay, and then we have all these restrictions. They all start with if, so we're just going to have kind of a line of our if statements with our triggers and an arrow and then the consequence. So if math is offered, then we have L or S and not both. Okay, so that's probably the most succinct way to write it. If we're then going to do the contrapositive and negate this whole statement, we would say if L is out and S is out, or, okay, so negating that and turns it into an or, and then to negate not both, we would change that to both, which in this case would mean both in, right? So both L and S, then M is out. So if both of them are out or both of them are in, then M would be out as the contrapositive there. Okay, so that's fairly complex. I do have a video that explains Rule 3 from Prep Test B Game 2 that has a similar sort of issue, so that goes into a little bit more depth and like discussion about how that works. But here, if we just sort of follow the formula, this is what we end up with. Okay. If L, then G and not P, right? So we can see every time that we see the word but, that is the same as and in the context of our conditional statements here, right? And then to negate this, we have if G is out or P is in, that means L is out. It's our contrapositive. If S, then P and not Z, right? So if P is out or Z is in, then S is out. Is our contrapositive. And if G is offered, then both H and Z are offered. So if either of those guys is out, we know G is also out. So there's our contrapositive. Okay, so if I go through each of these, what I'm looking for is the rule triggered. So each of these things are potential triggers. If that occurs, then I can go to the arrow and go to the consequence and infer that the consequence is true. Okay, so let's start with 14. Okay, question 14. So if the summer program offers literature, right, where is that a trigger? Here. I'm just going to note that we can't say that this is triggered at that point because we would have to know that both L and S are in, and we just know that L is in. So if L is in, then we know G is also in, and we know P is out. If P is out, that means S is also out. Okay. And if S is out, does that trigger anything? No, it doesn't. Okay. So what could be true? Could it be true that sociology is offered? No. Okay. Could it be true that history is not offered? So if history is not offered, then geology is not offered. Oh, so I started here, went here and here, and then from here went here, but I didn't look at G as a potential trigger. So G being a trigger means we have H and Z. Z being a trigger means S is out. H is not a trigger, and we only have one player left, which is M. So M can be either in or out, so C is the correct answer. Okay, so yeah, I suppose that's a lesson there, that when you do have two consequences to a particular trigger that you have to check both of them to see whether they trigger anything else. So I just followed not P to not S. And then I went from not S to seeing that doesn't trigger anything, but I should have checked G as well. So G being in triggers H and Z, and that makes it a lot easier to answer the question quickly. Okay, so that's question 14. And let's do 16 as well. So if math is in, we know we have either L or S, but not both. So L or S is in, and the other one's going to be out. Okay. Anything else that we can learn from that? So we have our alternatives there for if L is in or S is in. So we could split worlds kind of, right? So we could see, all right, well, there's a situation where L is in and S is out. If L is in, then G is in as well and P is out. Or we have M in and S is in and L is out. If S is in, then P is in and Z is out. Z being out means G is out. G being out means L is out. Hi, chicken. Hi, sweetie. Good bird. Yeah, so what must be true? At least 3 courses are offered. So that's D. So we can see that that's something that these two have in common. Hi, Pee-Pee. Yes. Hi. Hi. What's happening? Yeah, you good bird. You want to see? What is your mama doing? Alright, that's all for this one. I'll do the next game in another video.